We'll do our best.
Awesome, thank you. Oh, thank you all for letting me be here and for making it out in this weather. I personally am loving the weather. It feels really great to me. It feels very cleansing. I just had the frog come to me as a totem recently. It came in my window well, and now I'm kind of treating it like an aquarium. Thinking about putting some water in there for him, except we got those torrential rains, so I'm not so worried about him anymore. But I feel like we're in this time of cleanse and purity. And so I think it's really wonderful timing that we get to be here and doing this today. And there's something that I really want you to understand. There's information that we need to be operating with today if we really want to create the lives that we want to create, if we actually want sustainability, if we really want change today. There's some components that we need to be looking at differently. First thing is we are an energetic charge, and science now understands that. We're not a chemical reaction like they used to think. We're an energetic charge. All of a sudden that means we're no longer victims. We're creators. And so now we're in charge of creating our realities. And so now we have to understand that. We're a charge. Now we have to take control of that charge. We have to assume responsibility for that charge. We're going to learn that today. And we're going to understand how that actually operates in our lives. And we're going to understand that higher insight is the key today. And I want you to remember that. It's all about higher insight today. It's about perspective change. We can't solve our issues with the same thinking, right? We have to change our perceptions, and that's what this is going to do for us today. So just a quick story about myself and how this process has worked for me. So years ago, I owned a coffee shop, and I still love my coffee. I rarely go anywhere without it. But I was faced also with the fact that it was a very difficult business. I wasn't making money. I was working nonstop, 7 days a week, just always working. And at the same time, I was learning this idea of clairvoyance, and I was understanding that I had a passion there. And I was forced with making this change. Do I continue to put my resources into this business that isn't my passion anymore? Or do I go a different route? And I went the different route. I went with my alternative, and I decided to open up my practice, right? Open up my doors. So how many of us have opened up our doors and then sat there going, where are the people? Where are the people, right? And then we get overwhelmed with the stress and that worry, right? And, since I understand energetics, I knew that somewhere, it was going to take more than me just opening the door. It was going to take me understanding my relationship to money. And money and I have always had a love-hate relationship. And so the minute that I understood my relationship to money, everything changed. But this is what I saw, and this is what we're going to do here today. I looked at myself clairvoyantly. I got in my own field and I said, what energy is in there that is creating money for me, that's in charge of my finances? And all of a sudden, out of the blue, I saw this, what would represent my Russian lineage. She was gruff, mean, aggressive, weathered, hardened. She did not think that life was worth living. She thought it was all about hard work and that I shouldn't deserve anything. I should just have to work hard. And that hit me hard. That's my relationship to money. So I thought to myself, well then she's got to go. And what would I replace it with? And so all of a sudden I saw a French princess come in. And I thought, well, she looks better. I kind of like that feel a little bit better. And I said to her, what's your belief about money? And she said, I don't worry about money. It's on the count. And she was the count's daughter. And I said, all right, you'll do for now. And then everywhere I went, I started saying, it's on the count, it's on the count. But what was really cool about that process, I did it sort of jokingly. I'm going to take on French princess, right? And I wasn't 5 minutes out of that meditation and my phone was ringing and I had 4 clients booked. And I was stunned. And it proved it to me, and I was like, if I can keep myself in alignment like this and understand where am I getting in my way, moving it, shifting it, I can make this happen. I can have what it is I want. And so that's what I want to help you with. So, let's get to it. Do I get to pick somebody out of the basket?
We already picked some.
Oh, yay, who is it?
Me.
Oh, well, get up here.
I know. It's like, holy cow, man.
I see, that's why you said it was fixed.
No, it was like,
I didn't say
freaking
that.
cool. Claire looking at it, Claire is like,
Gotcha.
see, you know,
All
it's-
right.
and Glenda, where's Glenda?
Different level.
Yeah,
Oh, well, this will be fun then.
it's gonna be totally fun.
Yes. Okay, so what I want us to do is just kind of, you get in your space, you know how you like to be in your space, make sure you're good and grounded, right? Let's go ahead and think about that issue. Think about something in your business where you feel blocked. But don't,
We're
Don't-
talking about money, right?
yes, anywhere you want. If it's money, if it's clients, if it's your
Yeah,
personal
let's-
relationships, because that can get in the way of your business as well. Right, anything can, it's all about energy, but,
Sure.
yes. So go ahead and just have that feeling, get that sense of, you know, where am I stuck? What is my relationship to money? What do I need to know about it right now? And then all I want you to do, however you like to look at things, however you like to see and read, bring in a reading screen. I always like to use a big movie screen. And I want you to put the image of a rose up on that screen. And you're just going to describe to me what rose that looks like. Tell me what you
We're
see.
gonna have to go a lot faster than this.
You tell me what you're seeing then.
Okay, so go between the mental and emotional body.
Okay.
Okay, and in between the mental and emotional body, there is a barbed wire fence. And on one side of the fence are those who get to have, and on the other side of the fence are those who have. And I can see through the fence, but I'm still on the side of the barbed wire that says I don't get to have. And it's right between that mental and emotional body that says, you know, I can feel it. I can feel what it's like to be on the other side, and I can see all those people who are wearing the pretty, and the lovely, and the blingy, and I can see them. But they're on that side of the barbed wire fence, and I'm still on this side looking at it going, I can have that, but I still have this fucking barbed wire fence right here that if I try to crawl over
the energy of
that.
that barbed wire fence, go stand by it. Just, right? Sit by it and just absorb the energy. Don't resist it. Don't fear it. And don't push it away. Just give yourself a chance to kind of absorb into that energy. Just fall into it. You know how barbed wire feels, that metal?
It feels like I want to barf. It feels like this thing of ripping the guts out, ripping the, just.
Ask yourself when the first time you ever felt that feeling was. When's the first time, when did this feeling originate?
4.
Age 4. What was the circumstance?
You don't want to go there, do you? Let's just say bad. Bad. Just bad. It's a lot of survival, a lot of no one will be there to take care of me, and a lot of starvation. Just bad, deep, dark.
Great.
Keep going.
Yep, keep
Moving through it.
Just keep moving through it. Keep moving through it. Go past 4. Go back even further.
That would be 2.5.
Great. Keep going further.
Oh, let's go inside her womb. Okay, inside her womb, into the womb of this mother. She is sitting there, so I'm just a speck of energy. She is so terrified to have another child because there's not enough money to provide for another child. There's not enough food for the mouth. So she's going into desperation about not enough, plugging it through that umbilical cord. Not enough.
Okay, so do you see that impression on your emotions?
Yeah.
Can you clear that out? Can you
Okay,
ask a
so-
guide to clear it out or just remove it?
Yeah, let's bring in Archangel Michael.
Yeah. Maybe even bring in some of the rain. Let the rain soothe that. Kind of clear your emotions. Let it just cleanse you. This is going to be one of the things that you're going to do to continue this healing, is to work with the rain energy and just allow it to wash through you. Yeah. And now as you're just watching that healing happen, I want you to go a little bit further back. I want you to take a look at describe that metal feeling again. Describe what it felt like to be
In the metal?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm shifting back into metal.
Mm-hmm.
Metal's ripping. And going back into her, she was trying to rip me out of her body.
Go back further. I want you to go back into past life, where you've had that same sensation with the barbed wire.
Okay, so I didn't see this. Being in Auschwitz and survival, knowing that there is freedom on the other side of that fence, and here's all of the soldiers walking around, and they're laughing at all the people who they know they're going into the chambers, and we're sitting there starving. We're on the side of the barbed wire, trying to find anything to eat, and they're just laughing, and they're opening cans of sardines and slurping out all the crap in the thing and tossing them right in front of us, and there's so much depravity there. And I'm there, I'm in a female body, and just very, it's like my teeth are all falling out because there's no nutrition at all in the system. And there's the barbed wire fence again, that part of freedom. Freedom's right on the other side. I can see the trees and there's wolves. Thank you.
How did you get to
Wolves.
experience your freedom in that lifetime?
I think that one I chose death. I chose out. It's
And
like, whoa!
Watch yourself in that dying process, and watch as your spirit reconciles itself to that lifetime. What were you learning?
Good question. Okay, I need some help here.
That's okay. Yeah, let's take a look at the idea of what you might have been sacrificing yourself to for greater growth. How is that lifetime helping you to grow today? What were you giving there that now you get the reward of today?
That I can choose, okay, very cool. I can choose to step into this place of struggle. I can go back to struggle because there's a fence. Or I can choose to die to the old concept and step into the freedom, bringing my energy back into alignment, just dying to the old thought.
Right.
And stepping into the body of the wolf, freedom, because I'm just running with them right now and being free. And it doesn't matter that there's a fence. I can go wherever I want to. Go wherever I want to.
So see that person that you were from that past life.
Okay?
Recognize her healing and understanding that that lifetime served a purpose, right? Taught her something.
Huge.
Yep.
Huge.
Now go ahead with that new understanding, reintegrate her back into yourself. Give her a hug, absorb her. Bring her back in now, healed and whole. With a new understanding, really absorbing that wolf energy as well, allowing that to be a part of that stance, maybe changing that dynamic to that. And just see what type of woman you look like now. Can she have?
Ow!
Think she can have. Awesome. So you can come on out now. And we're going to talk about a couple of different things. We're going to talk about how you're going to sustain that now. Okay, so you've got this new energetic understanding, right?
Yeah, it was cool. Thank you.
Yeah, great job, actually. How did she do, you guys? I know. It was wonderful. And this is partly why I love working with healers as well, because you can get into the images and you don't get in your own ways. A lot of people, I don't know, who thinks that they're psychic in here?
Everybody, put your hands up.
I know, not more, quite honestly. Put those hands up. But a lot of people think that they're not, but it really is just about seeing those images. And so it is, it's about allowing part of your imagination to be a part of the process. Why am I seeing that, right? Allowing it just to unfold and go with what you're seeing, right? What do you think are some of the things that you can do to support that new understanding? How about some affirmations?
So the piece that's really huge for me is being able to die to the old. Just die to the old. And not having to die the body. The body doesn't have to go through death process, but die to the old concept of that having other side, them, their separation. And to be able to fully step into the new alignment, wherever that new alignment is in this moment, right here, right now, that new alignment. So I'm watching that and then 100% stepping into wolf. And I've never done wolf before. I mean,
Cool.
my totems are something different, and so that wolf stepped in that powerfully.
So can you do a ritual around that? You know, when we talk about dying, it's usually you want to kind of do a ritual around something like that in the physical reality, just so that you're really anchoring it and saying, I want to see this, you know, in my physical.
Yeah, so ceremony, I'll do ceremony. There's a couple things I can do. So this place of truly, I'm involved in a new, for me, a group called Vision Sisters, and it's just a lot of circle information, a lot of circle energy, and being able to come here in this circle and affirm with support and with validation, and this circle that we're having here to affirm and support, and for me to literally stand in wolf. So just don't be surprised if I bring wolf more times too. I may have a tail. Tail comes out. But that power, and for me it's a power in graciousness. It's just this power, this beauty in the wolf flowing. And I can still see that there is a fence someplace, but it's not my fence anymore. It's just a fence. It's not my fence.
And you're bringing up a really good point right there too, because healing is layered, right? That's one image in there. If we think about how long we have been, in a body, we are infinite souls, right? We are timeless beings. We've been in the body a lot of different times. We have a lot of pictures that might be blocking us. Some of them are strung together. We have a lot of poverty pictures or, things like that. But you have to kind of get to them, or you have to get to the core issue of them. But it's going through these kinds of things each time you have one of those issues come up. And saying, okay, where is it now? So, I like what you're saying there too, the affirming. I really like to work with affirmations. I never actually have considered myself to be much of a ritualistic person. That's actually taken me a little bit more of a practice to actually sit and meditate, or to actually, create an altar and work with, actual tangible things. But since I've learned that over the years, I've come to really value that. It really does say, when you take a physical step, it really does say to the universe, I don't just want this rattling around in my head. I want this to actually manifest into my physical reality. I want it there. And so affirmations are also the other step with ritual. You want to come up with something that says, I can have, I'm free of the past, I fully step into who I am today. You want to come up with what feels right to you, feels good to you. I like to write affirmations down and stick them on my bathroom mirror so that I'm always reminding myself, oh, that's right, until all of a sudden one day I'm like, I know, and I can take it down. And then I've got that new thought trained, because remember, we're in charge of our energies, and so the goal is to take charge over the thought and the emotion, because that's the magnetizing force. So we have that affirmation, right? And as we're saying, I can have, we check in with our feelings right there, right? Because that's going to thwart us if we don't. If we're going, I can have, you're probably wrong. But if you're like, I can have, and that's what you're feeling, then you're on the right track. So you use your affirmations also to check in with your feelings, so you know you're staying in alignment with where it is you want to be and what you want to draw to you. Awesome. Any questions?
No, but I want everybody to disconnect from me, please. So create a rose.
I like how you said to me, you're going to have to go faster than that with the rose.
Create a rose, and just put everything about my thing in your rose and blow your rose up.
Awesome.
So there's separation. Thank you.
Yes, you bet. Nice job.
Here
you go. Yeah.
And I will ask if there's one or two people who would like to just, yes, Glenda, I'm looking at you, and Amanda, I'm looking at you, and possibly Lindsay, Lindsay, to just help me affirm the wolf.
You got it. Absolutely. Tail and all.
And just before we completely move on, if there are one or two shares that you'd like to share, something that you got for you.
Yes.
That'd be great. Courtney.
Well, when you said the rose, I instantly had a vision of a yellow rose for myself. But then when Nathan started talking about being at Auschwitz, and I could clearly see it and feel it, and I think the thing that I forget is that we're collective, and that we all have that in us, whether we want to recognize it or not. But the things that happened throughout time and through, in the world is all of ours, and that sometimes I forget that those are a part of me, and I don't think about that when I go through my day, that hey, I might be bringing something that is so old or is not truly mine, but it's still a part of me.
Exactly.
And I can clearly feel it and see it and understand, like, that's part of our history as human and spiritual beings. And I mean, it just made me realize, like, some of the things that I deal with are not mine, but they're still in here.
Right, this is why we have to understand how energy is working in our space And then the next step is really about how do we maintain our own field so that we are conscious of who am I up against? Am I taking on theirs? Or you can go, wow, that is past life, way old stuff that I don't need to carry around anymore. But this is exactly why we have to understand that information, because if we can't keep ourselves balanced, we can't create balance in the world. Balance is an inward process first, right? Sustainability happens inwardly first before it can ever happen outwardly. So we have to understand, this is our new education today. It's the education of the subtle energy bodies, the emotions, the mind, the spirit, and the body. You can check in with the body too. And there's multiple layers in there, things to look at.
Fantastic
Yes.
use of I
It's the game
statement,
changer.
by the way. Just owning it.
Awesome. Do we get to go next?
Oh, we'll take one.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So what was very powerful for me was when Nadine saw through the barbed wire and everyone was in there pretty. Because I have a very similar vision around money, so it was very nice to see somebody work through that.
Right,
Very
right.
powerful.
Totally agree with that.
I'll share also that my vision of the wolf being able to move as he pleases in and out of all fences feels so good. Which is like, freedom. Fence, no fence, wall, no wall, I don't care.
Right? And don't you like how you get to be in charge of the process too? I love that.
Big light bulb went on for me when you were talking about your mother and the umbilical cord. That never dawned on me. You know, my mom was 17 and an alcoholic, drug addict, abusive, scared teenage relationship. And it's just like all that shit that got brought on before I was even
Right.
into the physical, you know? It's
You
just
get-
like, crap.
Yeah, you get imprinted.
Yeah.
Like in the womb, that fluid really holds the emotions. And those emotions kind of like form. And so you get like imprinted with the mother's emotions.
Yeah.
Huge, heavy energy. If it's not uplifting, if she's not in a good place, you're going to carry that if you don't know how to take care of that energy for yourself. Big stuff. But it's the game changer stuff. It's what makes the difference today. Awesome.
One last thing,
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting, and I just want to point out that how you asked for people to keep you in the wolf, and how important that is, because a wolf is a pack animal.
Oh.
And
Good
the
point.
real power in the wolf is in their pack, and in their family. You know, they're not lonely. There's no such thing as a lone wolf. You know,
So in other words, you're all my wolf tribe.
That's right.
All right, so we're howling, and I have to tell you, full moons really mean something to me, so I expect to hear everybody, ow, right up at the top.
And
Right along
that's
with
an
me.
excellent point to make too, because this is another way that you're going to sustain what it is that you just changed, is by getting the support and allowing that to be a part of your system as well.
I'm
right?
receiving it, I dig it. Acceptance, right? We had 5 or 6 acceptances in here.
Right.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Okay, victim.
But I'm no victim.
No, there are none.
No, right? If we learned nothing today, it is that there are no victims. Great. Okay, so Glenda, thank you. So let's kind of talk about what it is that you want to look at, or where it is that you're feeling stuck and what you might want to come to.
Okay, it's not business related, but it's something that I want to break through that I knew just like, I was like, oh, that's what I want to do, so she'll pick my card and pick my card, so I have to do it.
To how that works.
So this is about my physical body. So I've had an old story about struggle with, like through effort and deprivation and discipline, I can do things, but I can't sustain it because it's not natural to who I am. That's what I want to have a breakthrough.
Okay. And how do you think that's physical for you particularly?
That I want I want to honor my body more, and I want it to be my natural state instead of like kind of across the barbed wire, like not my natural state. So again, it's like something I'm trying to achieve, but it's not me, and so it never sustains.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay, go ahead and just kind of close your eyes. We're going to do that same process. Just give yourself a nice big sigh, a release, Let all the energy go. Recognize that you get to be here now, present time. And I like to just be in my center of head. Go into your center of head. I like to see a room in there. It's really elaborate. I love my room. You can make it anything you want. And while you're in that room, you're going to be able to do your reading from there. So just pull down a nice big reading screen or a nice big movie screen. And I want you to put your body up there, like an outline of it. Or you can see yourself, however you need to see it. There's not a wrong way of doing this, ever. Whatever works for you and whatever you need to see is correct. So just see your body up there. And kind of zero in on that body and ask where you're holding that energy. It's not really in alignment with the truth of you, with who you really are. Kind of just notice where you see that energy. Describe to me where you might see that energy.
I see it right here,
Stomach.
lower stomach.
Great. Go into that area of your body. So I'm going to go down in there. Tell me if you're seeing any colors or images in there, or feelings. Tell me what you're noticing. Notice the heavier energies, where some of it is stuck, not moving.
I had an image, not so much like colors in my body.
Great. What was the image?
The image was me in a high chair
Okay.
and someone telling me I had enough to eat.
Oh, how did that feel when you heard that as a child?
I'm hungry.
Right? And so what happened in that scene? Did you get to eat more?
No.
Okay, so it was taken away.
Yeah.
All right. And so the next time you got to eat, what was the pattern? What did you notice about yourself there?
I didn't want to stop because I didn't know when it would be taken away.
Gotcha. All right, so go into that feeling of it being taken away. You're just going to kind of absorb yourself in it. This is that part where you don't want to resist. You don't let yourself feel that sadness, that heaviness, that rejection in a way. Just let it absorb. Feeling it. And then this is where you're going to ask yourself, when's the first time you felt that energy? Was it at that age, or did it come from a different time?
A different time.
Great, go back to that time for a minute. Kind of describe the scene that you're seeing there.
I'm kind of in a, I don't know, 19th century kind of scene, and it appears that I've been fairly wealthy or something, you know, well off, and they're just, actually this is interesting, in this, I'm feeling like my money was taken away from me. Not my food.
Not your money this time, huh? Well, you know, oftentimes these things intertwine. What happened when your money was taken away from you in that lifetime?
I felt not worthy. I felt like someone was judging me not worthy of having it. That someone else could control what I needed or wanted or could have.
Right. Were you a man or a woman in that lifetime?
I was a woman.
What was your, the rest of your life like in that lifetime?
Bitterness.
Bitterness. Watch your death scene, knowing that you can be detached from it, but you're going to learn what the purpose was. What was the purpose in that lifetime? What were you learning?
I was learning that I allowed that outside person or circumstance to be my life, that, so I was learning that I'd given my whole life away to that.
Right, so it was an experience in learning that, right? Is it something you still want to learn? You're done learning that
I'm done learning.
expression?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you move that energy out of your field? Release it. And also see that woman, see the woman that you were in that past life. Notice if she would have grown if things had not changed for her. If she'd had her money, what would her life have been?
Joyous. I mean, yeah, I see her being very expressive and valuing herself and really enjoying her life and living fully.
So can you, being the creator for yourself, can you give her back her money?
Yes.
Can she have it?
Yeah.
Great, let her take it back. Notice how happy she is. She wants it back. She deserves it. She had her experience, but she's over with it. Now take her and bring her into you. Let her absorb into you. Bring that dowry with her. Let it become yours. Receive the reward of it today. You're going to know that that's coming to you. That's going to be part of your work, is to watch for that coming in, that reward. And I want you to also go back to that 2-year-old image in the present time, this lifetime. How often throughout that child's life did she feel that things were taken away from her? Was that a recurring pattern? Why was she needing to learn that? Why so early and why so repetitively? What was it going to help you do?
It was to recognize that everything she needed, she already had. She didn't need someone to give it to her.
Awesome. Do you believe that still about yourself? Is that a great lesson to have learned? Great. Can you forgive that energy of whoever took it away from you? Can you give them love and thank them for helping you to re-experience that? Because now you know. And now also look how you've opened yourself up to receiving your rewards. So recognize you've taken care of that issue in 2 ways. You understand the purpose of it today, but you understood that in the past it was just experience. Great. Take a nice deep breath and come on out. Talk about some ways you can, yeah, work with that. Nice job. I know. Yes, I should invest in Kleenex. I like when I have men particularly who know nothing about this process, and generally it's their wives going, "You need to go see Michelle." They'll sit down and they'll go, "You're not going to make me cry, right?" And I'm like, "No. You get to do whatever you want. You don't have it's, we won't get you there." Next thing you know, they're reaching for the Kleenex. Because it's big stuff, right? Exactly. Okay. How do you feel about that? What are some of your thoughts about that, what you just witnessed?
Two things. One is I do feel a release of energy. The other one is like, my gosh, how many layers are there? Because I feel like my conscious mind understands this, but that it's still there at some level.
I know. Part of maintaining what we do here, part of maintaining that shift, is the practice of it. Everything just takes practice, right? To get better at anything, you have to practice it. And so repetitively coming into that space, looking at energy, looking for other people's energy. I'll talk to you later about classes that I offer where you can come in, and this is part of the process that we do. It's not exactly like this, but we read in a group. Gay's a part of that group, as a matter of fact, and she has been with me for years now. But it's a process where, you know, when you're getting used to looking at energy, it, you know, it doesn't just click in right away in some ways, right? Or like you're saying, it's layered. I know I just got to a big piece of this, but I didn't get to all of it. Or I just got to a small piece. Or, oh my God, I think I just blew that whole piece, which means I'm gonna be sleeping the rest of the week. Yeah. And so, you know, you just have to recognize, you know, where you're at. But you have to be continuing to say, okay, I'm gonna get back in this space and see what I see now, and I'm gonna get back into the space and see what I see now. Because really what you're trying to do is say, everything in my life represents something. It all has a symbol, it all has a message, it all has a meaning. So, you know, when the wolf crosses in front of my car when I'm driving, you know, I'm gonna go home and say, you know, animal speak. What is the symbolism of the wolf, and what nature do I need to take on? Right, and I'm going to adopt it. I'm going to go, okay, I need to be more out there. I need to be, you know, howling. I need to let people know where I am, right? And I'm going to adopt that nature. Because I'm in the habit now of saying, wait a minute, what is that saying to me symbolically about where I'm at? How is this keeping me in balanced?
What I'm really getting some clarity with in a different way, I mean, again, I could say that I knew this already, but it's just feeling different, is that what it turned into, that energy of like I wanted something that I truly wanted and it being available was there, but it wasn't given to me because someone was making a judgment. I didn't need it, deserve it, whatever that was. It's caused me to think I want things I don't want.
Oh, now that's interesting, right? That's a great revelation to come to. It's causing you to want things I don't want.
Because it was like that, well, it's there, so I better want that or get that.
Yes.
Instead of like, do I really want it?
Right. And you know what? How many of us actually operate like that? We purchase things we don't really need because we have some unconscious driven, I don't have in there. Or it's been withheld from me before, so I deserve it. And we can justify that to ourselves, right? I deserve that new pair of shoes. I worked hard. You know, I don't care that I got 50 in there. I deserve another pair. But do I really? Is that resource better used someplace else, right?
Do I really want it? Do I really want it?
Right. Do I even really want it? How is it fulfilling me? Is it getting me what I really want? And I think that's a great one because really it's all about coming to this point of, am I living my truth? Am I fulfilling the purpose that makes me feel good? Because purpose isn't, you know, somebody handing you your assignment. God didn't hand us assignments, you know, masters didn't hand us assignments. They said to us, what do you want to do? You pick your purpose. We're happy to support it. Find what you love, do what you love, right? And so we don't know what we want. We don't know our purpose. We don't know what really feels good to us until we actually get into the energy of things and see whose energy is it. Is that a past life energy, a belief system that just kind of got convoluted and now I'm operating in it? Is it my mother's energy out here going, we should be better, you know, constantly, you know? Or is it my friend's energy saying, oh, relax, you know, sleep all day, you know, don't worry about doing work, right? Who's influencing you in there, and where's your truth in relationship to it, right? It might actually be a day for you to rest, but maybe you're resisting it because it's coming from somebody else. Or maybe it's not a day to rest, but you're doing it because it's what somebody else thinks you should be doing. And you're just not conscious of those things. But knowing what really works for you, right? Coming to your own truths. You know, so much, I have a lot of tradition in, I did not grow up in a traditional family, let me just say that. But I like tradition because it just makes me feel good. And so, you know, I used to try and uphold my family's traditions, which quite honestly were pretty poor. And at the same time, I would sort of resist them. And it wasn't until I kind of took a step back and kind of got rid of everybody else's energy that I came to, I like this because it fits me. And so I am going to accommodate this and I am going to do this because it actually works for me, not because I'm being told to do it, and I'm going to quit resisting it because it actually is me. So it is about coming to those kinds of things, you know. Some of our belief systems really are us, and some of our belief systems are not. They're past and they're other people and things like that. But this is what we have to come to today. And so, you know, I think that what you want to remember here, the things that are really going to solidify this for you and help you implement this now and really start changing things, is to recognize a few things. Number one, be explorative. You can be explorative with your meditation process and not just passive. That's what we're doing right here. We're being explorative with that process. Take some time to be explorative. And then be expressive. Try on new faces, right? And go out and put them out there for everyone to see. So you decide, oh, I like that face. Oh, I don't like that face. But give yourself permission to go and be expressive with it, right? And then recognize the fact that higher insight is the game changer today. And so you really want to be operating from that sense. And if I can take a look at what I'm doing here energetically, and I can create affirmations that are going to support that, that's how I'm going to drive, that's how I'm going to sustain this healing, this understanding, and that's what's going to change everything in my life. Awesome. All right, so I have a lot of different clients who I've worked with. I have been working over the past 10 years as a clairvoyant.
Michelle, can we just take a second to grab a couple of things that they received?
Oh,
I
absolutely.
would love to hear what you've got coming up. That's
No,
perfect.
I want to hear what everybody else.
Yeah, anything that you received for you from anything that's happened today, you want to take with you?
Freaking ridiculous. Same thing with the high chair. That damn mother again, working on that ass. You know, I didn't realize that shit's still stuck in my head until you start talking about the 4-year-old and it just went, I'm like, oh, right.
Yep.
Crap.
Right.
Still there. No bueno, but now I just had to clear it. And
Right, you can
acknowledge it.
start working
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's half the battle, is becoming aware of it.
Right.
That's the hardest part right there. Yeah, what did anybody else get from that process too? Because you know, as we're sitting here and you're getting some of your own information, what other revelations did you get?
I got a revelation that even though in my past lifetimes I didn't need money and didn't choose money in those lifetimes, that isn't the same pattern that I have to choose in this lifetime.
Right, that
Say
is
that
a
again?
great one.
In past lives, I didn't choose money because in like 3 of my 6 past lifetimes, I was a hermit and like in monastic like mystery schools. So I chose not to have money, and it was fine, and that was okay, and everything was provided for me, and so I don't need to choose this. It doesn't have to be the same in this lifetime.
Right, exactly. You can have something. That's an interesting point too, because it is all just about experience. There's no judgment. There's nobody saying this is a better experience than this, you know, or this is a worse experience. It's really just about experience. We can experience poverty and we can experience wealth. There's no judgment in either one, neither's better or worse. But as souls, we actually need to experience both. So we can come to balance.
And
Generally, our growth is
that
in
was
the other.
another thing that I got from it as well, was just valuing the choices of my past and just integrating them into my soul development now, and not, like you said, not judging them and not being like, that was bad, you know. It needs to be different now. It's like, no, what did I learn from that? What did I gain from that? And how do I experience maybe that polar opposite this time around,
Or whatever degree of it
Yeah.
now you want to, right?
Mhm.
Exactly. And being conscious allows you to find the balance point that's right for you too. You know, it used to be that we would have an experience and then we would have the extreme opposite of that experience. Because as souls, we weren't conscious yet, really. We've been working into it. Today, we don't have to do that, right? We don't. I think a lot of times, people who kind of come into our lives, right, that we have either an irritation with or whatever it is, they might light us up in certain ways. They're a mirror of a part of us that needs to go there, right? You know, we either need to experience our darkness or we need to, you know, whatever it is in that other person that we're kind of resistant to. But the point is that we don't have to go to it to their degree, right? You know, addicts, right? How many of us have known people like that in our lives. They're mirroring something to us too, right? And they're saying, you have an addiction too, where's yours? Is it to their degree? Maybe not, right? But you have to be willing to recognize it in yourself, right? Shoes can be an addiction. I'm learning.
So, thank you very much, thank you, Glenda. And could you, let's change the energy up, and could you share what you have coming up?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, and thank you for volunteering and being so brave and willing to put yourselves out there so that we can all learn. That's a really great thing. So yes, you can see why my clients say to me that the work that I help them do through counseling and coming to their own understandings is 10 years of therapy in 1 hour. People just can get through their blocks. It makes a huge, huge difference. But here's one thing that I want to say too, to be cautious of. When you first start going into these kinds of energetic understandings, right, just recognize what you're doing in your life, right? Make those subtle shifts, but don't make big sweeping changes in your life. You know, don't go, I need to leave this relationship. You know, I just saw this terrible thing, I need to leave the relationship. Give yourself time to work with energy and really feel it before you make any big sweeping changes in your life. Or at least changes that you hadn't been thinking of, right? You know, if you've been thinking about, I gotta move to Hawaii, I gotta move to Hawaii, I gotta move to Hawaii for like a year, right? You start this process and all of a sudden you get prompted, maybe you move to Hawaii. But, you know, be cautious, be gentle with yourself. You know, take your time, don't feel like you have to rush, and just allow it. Remember, we are divine timing. Everything is happening as it is supposed to. We're not supposed to be anywhere other than where we're at.
But we do have a time limit to keep.
Yeah, I am not good with time limits. Let me just say this.
Usually aren't.
You have like a minute to tell what
Okay.
your offer is.
Yes, awesome. Okay, so you'll see a piece of paper I sent out to everybody. There's an offer on there for a $97 45-minute assessment. And I'll look at what I see for you, and we'll talk about where those blocks are, and I will help you to come to a new understanding of that and give you what you need to get through that block. And if you sign up today and pay with Gay back here, you will get a free voucher to one of my classes. I teach a Tuesday night class, which is a Clairvoyant class. We get together and we read energy. That's part of the practice that I was talking about earlier. That's where you can go. It's a weekly class. You can come and go as you want to. And all the details are out there. But it's a weekly class so that you can stay in the practice of it. And it's, you know, students reading students, and the teachers, me and my other teacher, guiding you through those steps like we just did here. So it's a great way to stay in the practice with it. So you'll get, if you sign up today with that $97 offer, then you get a free voucher for class. And you can come sit in or you can participate, whatever you want, but I would love to see you in class. And so I want to close by saying this, just remember that you are the game changers. You are the conscious-minded people. And this is what I think is so great. You do not have to change anybody else. You simply have to change yourself. You do that, you hold a higher vibration, you make it easier for everybody else. So go get them, and thank you so much for letting me be here, and thank you, Michelle.